All right, what up, Internet? I'm here with Jaguardini.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Now, the first thing I've got to ask, where the hell did your Jaguardini, where did that name come from?
Oh, I had the audio on in the other window. Jaguardini is from a big book of rare cats. My friend and I were sitting on a porch in 2010 reading about giant cats, and he misread the book, the Jaguarundi, but he said Jaguardini. And I was like, that sounds kind of cool. I was looking for a new band because our band just split up on good terms and all that. And I wanted to go solo electronic and be something like Ladytron and Dan Deacon. And I was like, Jaguardini, that's cool. Let me look that up. There was no web presence because that word didn't exist because he made it up. And I took that name and then I looked it up a few days later in the book. I was like, what the heck is Jaguar? That's not even in this book. It's a Jaguarundi. So, anyways, it was a good thing he said it wrong because that name had no web presence.
What's really funny is I googled you earlier and it auto corrected the cat Jaguarundi.
Yeah, yeah. People keep sending me the Jaguarundi on Instagram. It keeps popping up with the little. It's got the cutest little meow in the world for as big of a cat as it is. You wouldn't expect it to have such a tiny little meow. It's like meow, meow.
That's awesome. All right, so what would you say some of the first like electronic based music that had a big impact on you?
I think well, as a child, Switched on Bach was playing in the house. I think that really struck me. And then in high school, I was listening to these mixtapes my friend Amy gave me, or mixed CDs of George Acosta, ATB, techno trance, that kind of stuff. And that really excited me. And leading into that, I think what really struck a chord with me was Pink Floyd. Their synth work was something that also hit me too. Was just everything in Animals. Those synthesizers really like got to me when they came in. I was like, wow, there's something about these synths that really got me. And when I started listening to the techno, I was like, yes, this is what I really like, these synth leads. And then I started getting more into more electro and stuff, and electro clash and stuff like Ladytron, Fisher Spooner, Dan Deacon would be more electro and stuff, and getting more dancey and experimental with those genres. And then stuff that was really dancey. And then the stuff that really started influencing the more recent stuff, I started getting into the darker music, was when I discovered stuff like Clan of Zymox, and this isn't even electronic, but The Cure's Pornography really started influencing my like pull towards the minor chords, the dark music. So that was the lead into the Clan of Zymox, stuff like that, Sisters of Mercy. And again, they don't have synthesizers much, but that led me down this whole other path of, whereas I was listening to music that's predominantly electronic, now it's predominantly electronic with darker, heavier influences, minor chords, heavier themes, just pulsing, driving synth basses, 4 on the floor kicks, even more subtle beats. But it goes way back to so I go on these tangents. It goes way back to Switched on Bach, Pink Floyd, and then trance, techno.
Hell yeah. So, let's see. So, how does your songwriting process work? Like, because you use a lot of like sampled sounds and stuff. So, like, do you find those first and be like, "Oh, this would be cool"? Do you like make beats and then be like, "Huh, what can I add to this?" Or how do you write songs?
I think I like to start with a theme or a feeling. A lot of times when I'm writing I will sit down with. Well, the process has changed with the hardware I have, and a long time I've been writing in the Logic DAW on the computer, and I'll have a MIDI keyboard hooked up, and I'll just kind of come up with some melodies or something on the keyboard, loop that over and over, and maybe I'll want to have something that feels a certain way based on music I've been listening to, and I want it to have a certain driving kick, snare, maybe kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, and
Mhm.
I want that kind of mood to develop, and then I'll just build up that way with the synth and MIDI keyboards. But sometimes maybe I'm building a theme or mood. I do a lot of film scores, horror, live
Mhm.
scoring. Sometimes I get commissioned to do scores, sci-fi, horror, sometimes documentary. So I'll have to write an emotion or a feeling or some sort of theme that's going on screen, and those actually turn into some of my albums, and I'll add more stuff to build. So I have to say, okay, I need ominous. So I come up with chords, and then I like to layer. Eventually, I get to arpeggios. I add a bass, um, chord swells, a lead synth, and these are the elements I usually work with, and then an arpeggiation of some sort. And I love arpeggiations because I'm obsessed with the Baroque classical music. Um, and I go from there. Um, and then more recently, um, I I I got the MPC one,
Mhm.
and instead of doing this all on the Logic DAW on the computer, now I'm building everything on here, right here, from the ground up. So I've built project templates, and say I want to build a retro horror live score. I've got a whole template that is retro horror bass that John Carpenter style that goes bam, and then I got another retro horror bass that goes boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
So I start building these layers, and then I got a kick snare, and then I'll add a lead, beep boo, beep boo boo. Like I was live scoring Dawn of the Dead last year. And
Mhm.
then I add an arpeggiation. And then I can build all these layers up. And these have turned into songs recently that I'll be performing live at my next few shows that I've added lyrics and stuff to. So that's how these songs have been growing and developing recently and
That's
turning
cool.
into live at
You just
studio.
mentioned you have some shows coming up. I believe that was this
Oh,
year,
yeah.
right?
You
Yeah,
found
I
the
think
graphic.
I popped that up.
Yes, I am going on a spring tour starting next
Mhm.
Saturday. It's going to be Wilmington, Asheville, Chapel Hill, Richmond, Arlington, and Rochester. And then on Friday, April 4th, we just got a show around the Pittsburgh area, and I'll have some more details to throw up. And
Nice.
I'm very excited to go on that. I'll have my bandmate Mickey Sharp from Jacksonville with me. And
Hell yeah.
they don't get to tour with me often, but as much as we can, we'll get Mickey on tour. Mickey's going to be on my new album coming up, and Mickey tours with me when we can get Mickey. So I'm super stoked.
Nice.
Mickey's a phenomenal vocalist, front person, and has several bands of their own in Jacksonville.
Sweet. So you mentioned tour. I sometimes like to ask this question. When you're out on tour, what's your favorite snack?
Chocolate pretzels.
Ooh, yeah.
Yep. After a show, I got to get my chocolate pretzels. The Hershey's are the best, I think. You can find those at 7-Elevens a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. How about do you have a favorite snack? Do you get out on the road a lot? Do you
Nah, not as much
go
as
to a
I
lot of
want.
shows?
Not nearly as many as I want to. I actually live on an island off the coast of Maine, so it's hard to
Oh
go
yeah.
anywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's hard to go anywhere.
Do you get a lot of bands coming to you?
No.
What's your closest town?
um,
Like
A
big
lot of people
city.
play Portland, Maine. I can go there.
Okay. I've been hoping to get to Portland at some point.
Well, if you ever do, definitely let me know.
I will. I will. Maybe that'll be a goal this summer. I'll be up in Montreal, so maybe Portland could be another stop up there.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. All right, let's see. While we're talking about shows, what would you say is the most memorable show that you played? Did you have like one that sticks out?
I've played hundreds of shows, and let me think. All right. There's so many great
Mm-hmm.
shows and great memories. I got to play with Rashad Eggleston, Rashadicus, the cello goblin,
Ooh,
in upstate New York, in Onchiota. And this was an outdoor festival concert series they do up there at a place called The Station. I recommend checking out for touring artists. And he's a fascinating individual, a really great character, and a good human being. And he does his act playing cello, running around chasing people, eating vegetation. And then after the show, he climbs up 100-foot pine like it was nothing. It was awesome.
wow.
And then it was really cool to connect with him because I'd always admired his work. And that was really cool. Another great show, actually, come to think of it, that shirt you're wearing, Vision Video, that was a great show. I begged to be on that bill
Mm-hmm.
because I saw they were coming to Harrisonburg, little old Harrisonburg here, and I'd really hoped to see them at some point, and it was really great to open for them. That was a fantastic
Yeah,
show
not
to
just
put
my
on. Oh, you got the tattoo? Heck yeah.
huge fan of Dusty.
They were so sweet and kind,
Oh,
and
I know.
their performance was incredible. Just like
I've said it a
really
million times. I'll
good.
say it again. I wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't met them. So,
Oh, wow. That's powerful. That's
yeah, I was in a
powerful.
bad situation. Dusty was just so nice and kind of gave me the kick in the ass I needed to go out and do my own thing.
Oh, yeah. That is great. Um, I felt at that show a lot of power. The in between many of the songs were very uplifting, motivational
Yes.
speeches, uh, political speeches that inspired me to just step out of perhaps a comfort zone to
Mm-hmm.
be a little more vocal at my own performances,
Yeah.
and just say what's on my mind politically. Whereas I don't stay apolitical at my shows. I'm obviously take a very pro LGBTQ stance, especially
Appreciated.
across my social media. Very anti-fascist, of course. Um, and But at my shows, I do put on the mask. I remove my id and my ego. I think from my performance,
Mm-hmm.
not my like. I go into a whole philosophy of when I put the mask on, it's kind of removing myself from the art so that I can just perform. But it
Mm-hmm.
was really cool to see Vision Video, and it kind of reminded me to kind of bring my own awareness back into the show to kind of speak my mind a little bit more instead of just forgetting that I'm there and
Mm-hmm.
just doing the music, and reminding myself that in a sense that I could use music as a platform once again to talk about things that are important, because a lot of my lyrics actually are politically fueled,
Mm-hmm.
especially more recently as well. So that was you're asking me what was a very important and memorable show. That one was philosophically enlightening to see that performance and feel the power of
Mm.
their words.
Are you wearing? Is that a male tier shirt?
Yes, I wore this one. I put the poster here. I got to see them in DC. That's a band I've
Nice.
admired for a while, and it was I got like I fangirl hard on that band, and it was really cool to see them. and talked to them. I gave them my hot sauce. I gave them a shirt, and
Nice.
they've influenced a lot of my writing on my newest album. So, yeah, you've gotten to talk to them.
Yeah, I talked to James. Must
Oh,
have been like 6 months ago, but yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely.
They're a great band.
I absolutely agree.
Super nice too.
Oh yeah. So let's see. You briefly mentioned you're working on a new album.
Yes, it's finished. It's recorded. All the studio work is finished. It is with my friend in Charlotte, Justin, and he's a studio engineer and a producer himself. Justin as well, and he's doing the mixing and mastering on the album, and maybe some production on a few songs too. But right now, he is doing some pre-production mixing before we get to the mastering. In a few weeks, I will go down there and just run through. It's 11 tracks, a bunch of the mastering, and if we need to do any more production on it, we'll try to get all of that done so that we can release it this summer. And this is finally an album that is mostly darkwave, whereas previously some of my albums have had just some darkwave tracks in them, and enough so that I do hold darkwave shows, darkwave performances, and now I finally have a mostly all the way darkwave album with some heavy themes that are very personal, and it's really good to have this one finished, and it's the first album I have fully co-written with the bandmate Mickey Sharp.
Awesome.
Now that she's fully integrated in the band.
That's awesome. So I went through a lot. Yeah, words are hard. I'm sorry. I went through some of your stuff you had up on Bandcamp, and one of the songs, "The Color of Blood," I really liked that one.
Thank you.
What's that like? What's that song more like? Tell me a little bit. What's the story behind that song?
It is, well, on the full surface, it's about a vampire, of course, but it's got all sorts of allegory weaved in there, and it's well, it's kind of about being maybe emotionally detached, going through the motions, and perhaps not being fully present and allowing yourself to succumb to something that is not entirely bettering yourself. It's hard to put this all in words because it's all deeply personal. And so it's there are many times in my life, and I'll just say bluntly, where I had up until last year been drinking a lot, and then that's all done. I have that all behind me, and that's what my whole new album chronicles. And that song in particular, it describes just these periods of just it's hard to put these things in words because it's all written in prose, I guess.
Right.
But just being kind of numb. There's a big numbness in that song, and that's a good word to put to that song. Numbness and kind of being detached, and then but also self-destruction and maybe destruction from other forces too.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
All right. It's a happy song.
Oh yes, so happy. If you could collaborate with anybody, who would your like absolute dream collab be?
Male Tears.
Absolutely, I definitely that's a good
I
option.
got the vinyl right there. I've got the poster here. I've got the shirt here. James, if you're listening, we're gonna do a collab next album. You're gonna be on it.
Hell yeah! Hope you're watching, James.
Yeah, James.
What would you say that your biggest struggle is? You know, as a musician.
I think time
Mhm.
is a huge struggle. That has been my challenge as an adult. Coming out of college, I thought, I'd try to hoof it as a musician and a barista, and that was fun. But until I turned 26, when I turned 26, I was like, I need a solid career that has health insurance. So I decided I loved teaching, and I'm very happily a special ed teacher for first grade. But what that balance does, it's a good balance right now where I have a healthy work week and I have a healthy musician lifestyle where I'm able to tour and play shows on most weekends. Almost every weekend I'm performing.
Mhm.
And I love this balance right now. However, I feel like if if I was able to dedicate more time to music, I could go further. Perhaps I could tour more.
Mhm.
I could put a lot more time into recording, putting out more music, more albums, be doing more stuff with it I would like to be doing. And while I do love teaching, it's something I am very passionate about. Time is my biggest challenge. And if only we had 36 hours in a day, I think I could pull everything off I wanted to.
Yeah. All right. It getting a little bit philosophical on this one. If you were an ice cream, what flavor would you be?
Oh man. I think I would be, oh my God. My first impulse was to say garlic, but I don't think a lot of people would like that, which is fine. I guess I'll stick with that. It's okay that a lot of people don't like it. I really like strong, bold flavors. My friend once told me that I'm an extremist when it comes to everything, and he meant that as a joke because he's like, you don't know the definition of minimalism. All my flavor choices are bold. All my music choices are bold, loud, and it's hard for me to be a minimalist. So I think a garlic ice cream would be a very bold statement. It would be loud. Not a lot of people would be into it. And I would like it. I love garlic to death.
I understand. I'll eat it raw. No joke. I'll eat raw garlic.
Heck yeah, me too. I'll eat it. I fry it when I get sick. I take a whole head, I
Oh
fry
yeah.
it, and I eat it till I'm
Yep.
sweating garlic.
Oh yeah.
What kind of ice cream are you?
Shit.
Shit.
I don't know. I ask everyone that question, and I never thought about it myself. I don't think. Um, kind of a joke answer, but not really. As much as I don't like fruit flavored things, I'm probably some sort of like tutti frutti or something.
Yummy.
You know,
Yeah.
all sorts of different colors. Because even though I only wear black mostly, there's like I got rainbows shooting out my ass. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, you've
Anyway,
got a super positive personality as far as I could tell. So
yeah.
I would take that.
All right. What social medias are you on? Where can people follow you?
Jaguardini is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I think
Bandcamp.
that's it.
Bandcamp.
Spotify, Bandcamp. Oh yeah,
Bandcamp.
music. The
Spotify.
music. And you
music
could,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, Amazon, I think, iTunes maybe, but I focus on Bandcamp and Spotify. You can download everything on Bandcamp for free. You can listen to Spotify, of course. And I got music videos and stuff on YouTube and a bunch of random stuff on there, live shows I put up there as well. And I put everything mostly keep up with Instagram. Facebook sometimes I post, but Instagram is if you want all the newest and almost daily posts of shows and stuff.
All right. And if anyone wants to check out his links, down below the description, there's a link to his Bandcamp, and I think from there it'll link you to everything else.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing all that.
Yeah, no problem. All right. And last but not least, what message do you have for anybody who watches this?
I think times right now are pretty challenging, of course. People are getting very emboldened with the hate, the racists, the anti-LGBTQ, the homophobes, and a message I have, and it's a message I always tell my students, is it's the best thing you can do is to be kind to one another. Love your neighbors. Try to lift each other up in every way you can. And even small acts of kindness go a really long way. So that's what I can impart right now.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. If you want to hang out after the credits roll off the air, you're totally welcome to, but you don't have to. But yeah, thanks for coming on. And when your new album comes out, make sure you send me a copy of it.
I absolutely will.
Maybe get you back on here to help promote.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah, it's been really wonderful talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Good.
All right. Thank you. Bye.